The International Criminal Court, ICC for short, issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Hamas military leader Mohammed Deif, citing alleged war crimes during the recent Gaza conflict. So let's talk about some of this background. So the ICC was established in 2002, and it prosecutes individuals for war crimes, against crimes against humanity, genocide, and aggression when national courts are unable or unwilling to do so. So the court's jurisdiction covers crimes committed by nationals or within the territories of its 124 member state. So the arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant both are accused of crimes against humanity and war crimes, including the use of starvation as a method of warfare and intentionally targeting civilians during its war with Hamas on the Gaza Strip. And Mohammed Deif, so he was a Hamas military chief, and he faces charges related to attacks on Israeli civilians, uh, but during the October 7th conflict. But he was reportedly killed in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza on July 13th of this year. The Israeli military confirmed his death on August 1st, stating that Deif was eliminated in the strike. However, Hamas has not officially confirmed his death, so there's some uncertainty regarding his status. So, some of the reactions: Israeli government Prime Minister Netanyahu denounced the ICC's decision as, quote, absurd and false, asserting that Israel has a right to defend itself. Um, and while Deif's status is uncertain, Hamas welcomed the warrants against Israeli officials, calling for justice for Palestinian victims. And international community, the United States and other allies have rejected the ICC's jurisdiction over Israel, citing concerns about the court's impartiality. So some of the implications that this can have are travel restrictions. So the warrants could limit the international travel of the accused, because ICC member states are obligated to arrest individuals under such warrants. And legal proceedings, the ICC's actions may influence ongoing and future legal and diplomatic engagements related to the Israeli Palestinian conflict. I was talking to Tommy before the show starts, and Tommy, you had some of the talk about the countries that you found.
So yeah, there's like 125 countries, pretty much every European country, right? The only European countries that aren't signed on to this are Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, the Vatican, and there was one other one, but I can't really remember. But yeah, I mean, completely unprecedented. There's not a lot of places he can go in the world anymore. You have like you have Australia, New Zealand on this, even Afghanistan. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, there's signatories and stuff, but I think that one might have lapsed a little bit. But I mean, he's not going to be able to participate in any like global forums or anything like that. He's kind of somewhat of a de facto pariah at this point.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, I didn't even think of that.
what's that?
Just the forums and stuff, and like
Yeah,
different summits and events.
yeah.
So
There's
I
not a
told
lot of. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I asked Tommy before the show started. I was like, so what if he has like a layover, like a flight layover in these places? So I was like, he's not gonna have a layover there, but
He's not going to have a layover. Nope. Unless he wants to go straight to the Vatican or something. I don't think the Vatican has an airport, so. Um, yeah, it's unprecedented. We've never seen a sitting leader of an Western nation like this, indicted for this. So I mean, it's really gonna push to like, I guess, the credibility of the court, because they're already saying, well, it's not a partial. This guy's biased. This prosecutor. Um, and then of course, like as long as he stays out of the ICC countries, he'll be fine for sure. But it's like, what if he does go to one of these nations? Doesn't he still have diplomatic immunity? Does that not like? I mean,
oh,
because
that's a good point.
yeah, I guess I should look that up. But it's like, yeah, I mean,
I mean, does
I'm
war
sure
crimes
that
override diplomatic
I don't know
immunity?
because like Fidel Castro has come to the United States for UN forums and stuff, and we never tried to move on him while he was technically on U.S. soil. So I'm not entirely sure. It would be pretty awkward if he landed in like France, and France has got to make the decision: do I arrest the prime minister of Israel like I'm supposed to? I don't know. So,
I mean, this is one of those tough situations. I mean, they knew what they signed on to being a part of like this being a part of the ICC. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, does the rule of this court, you know, transcend whatever else? Like, because it's never been done before, right? It's unprecedented. Do they still follow through with, justice in the eyes of the ICC? We'll see, but yeah. So Netanyahu right there on the screen with Gallant, and this is the only photo clear enough that I could find when I was prepping for this show of Mohammed Deif or Daif. So yeah. So the next story that I want to talk about,
oh, can I tell you one thing I just looked up?
sure,
So when it comes to a head of state, there's actually precedent. Um, so what was I don't know the year, but the ICC issued an arrest warrant for Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir while he was in office, alleging war crimes in Darfur. Several ICC member states refused to arrest him, citing immunity, while others, like South Africa, faced criticism for failing to act. So I think a lot of them would pass the buck. I mean, if it's the Sudanese president, sure, I'm sure a lot of them want to be like, well, he has immunity while he's the sitting prime minister, so maybe he doesn't have to worry about it. I thought that was a little interesting thing to add.
yeah, that is interesting. So this has happened before, and I mean Netanyahu has a higher, like this is not that this is much more um, exposed, but like Netanyahu, I mean, has like pretty close ties with the American government and things like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
probably
Mm-hmm.
feels like this is optional for him.